So, Sony has decided that they are the moral arbiters of gaming, and they have decided to put their foot down and stop the blasphemy that is lewd shit coming out of Japan. Don't worry guys, we ain't getting that shit no more. No more big anime titties, no more thick thighs, no more big booty bitches. None of that vile, putrid, horrible shit. Oh no. They know what is best for us, and they say that is bad. Sony, oh thank you Sony, thank you for taking these away. Just the mere fact that they existed was just so painful for me. Thank you so much, massive $1 million corporation, for deciding what I may and may not consume. Just, oh, I love you. So, Sony is now censoring more games than ever, not just in the West, but where they're developed itself in Japan. Even if they're not intending to be released in the West, they are now forced to go through a content examination board, which is just kind of a fuck you Japan from good old Sony America. This board or hearing or inquisition is based in America, and the Japanese devs, who probably don't know a lick of English, have to defend their game in English, so great system there. So what's happening? What is this? Well, they're censoring the lewd shit out of games, and that's going to make it so the games that have this as their main selling point, lewd games themselves, are going to get fucking murdered. Because honestly, who plays these games? Who is the target audience? Games that have, I guess by objective standards, average mechanics, average stories, but some pretty amazing character design that create a plethora of waifus for the player to lewd the shit out of. Who plays them? You know damn right who plays them. People that want that shit. The degenerates, the solo players of life, the guys who mean no harm to anyone, just want to be left alone to lewd the fuck out of their waifus and have some fun with them, myself included. I might not play these games much, but bros, as someone suffering from the same crippling loneliness as you all feel, I know where you're coming from and will defend our degenerate material to the death. If they take that out of these games, what is there left, and who would be interested? I mean, some porn has some pretty good storylines, so I mean, if it wasn't the porn, it was just the acting.
Oh shit, I'm sorry.
I don't know, that could be pretty damn good. But no, honestly, who would play this shit? There would be no one. There would just be empty shells with nothing unique about them, being good at nothing, doing nothing special, and appealing to no one. Then, well, they die. PS4 is the biggest platform by far in Japan, after mobile gaming of course, because holy shit, mobile gaming. I try to ignore its existence because whenever I don't, my suicidal ideations just go out of control. So forgetting that for the sake of my sanity, because mobile and gaming just no, they don't know. PS4 is the biggest platform. PC gaming is still relatively niche there, so if the game studios can't develop their current games successfully for the PS4, well, they have a few choices, a few really shitty ones. Publish the game in the censored version and take heavy losses, because who the fuck wants porn without the actual porn part? Publish it on the PC in its pure form and hope it has a dedicated enough fanbase to follow it there, and for the sales from that fanbase to enough to hold it up the studio, which is quite unlikely, and also means no new ones will come into existence because there's not going to be a fanbase for something that doesn't exist yet. Or don't make those kind of games. Change what you make and publish different things on the PS4, where the core selling point of the game isn't required to be removed. The most profitable choice is most likely going to be the third one, which means no more ecchi games. Now, of course, not all studios will do this, I know that, but there will be a significant reduction in the ones that continue with the ecchi games because of these scenarios they will all be considering, and thus the genre itself takes a significantly heavy hit. Yeah, maybe not murdered completely, that was hyperbole, but taken out behind the shed and beaten half to death until it's barely hanging on to life, begging its audience to keep it alive on PC sales. Close enough. Of course, this is upsetting because even though I don't often play these games, it is always shit to have less choice. I mean, why would anyone want the ability to choose for themselves? I got a candy bar and a chocolate bar here. Which one do you want? Well, no, too bad. You don't get a choice, bitch. You get the chocolate bar. Honestly, why would anyone ever want less choice? Unless they were so narcissistic and self-entitled that they would want their own desires to override those of others. That they think their perspective is the best and they can enforce that over others, not even giving them the autonomy to have their own choice. I mean, having less choice doesn't even make sense from a business perspective. Do they really think that killing off these niche games that not many normies even know exist in the first place will bring more people to their platform? Do they think that some people who had not previously been buying PS4 games, will notice the fading away of these incredibly niche, obscure, ecchi games and decide, oh, I'm suddenly going to buy games now? Yeah, makes sense, sure, okay. Or maybe the target audience is something like mothers of children and they're making it more child friendly to appeal to them. Yeah, okay, maybe I can see that, but what about this? Or this? Or this? I guess maybe there's some specific breed of mothers who are completely fine with their kids blowing people to pieces, but not okay with them seeing some big cartoon titties, and that Sony specifically wants to cater to this one tiny population of cognitively dissonant mothers? Yeah, I'm really struggling to see that. That, or there's something else there, pulling them towards this decision. Something that hates anything sexual that appeals to straight cisgender males. Something that would say that having drawings of tits in a game would be objectifying women. That's not respectful for women, because you got to respect the women. Something that is rampant in giant corporations these days, especially in gaming, sweeping through them like a wildfire, burning them all to the ground. If they are wanting to capture said market that this appeals to, then this would make sense as one massive virtual signal. Hey look, all these games that were objectifying women, all these mildly offensive games that you never had to see or play but which the mere existence of triggered you, we fucking nuked them, so come over here. It's a safe space now. We're welcoming. We ain't gonna hurt you. Come me, want me to mommy, puppy. I mean, if they listen to games journalists these days, I can definitely see how they got that idea. But there is one big problem to this that they always seem to ignore. The get woke, go broke hypothesis. The people that this shit appeals to, it's been proven time and time again that they don't play games. They don't care about the thing that incorporates their ideology. They only care about it being on their side and pushing it. It does not translate to business success, as demonstrated through so many case studies over the past year where companies capitulate to this kind of audience and then suddenly find out that no one wants to buy their game. And then they go to be like, hey, come on audience, where are you? We marketed to you, we want to give you this game. And the audience is like, what the fuck? Fuck off, pumped and dumped, bitch. You put our ideology in, thanks, but now you're done. You're done. We don't need you anymore. We're moving on. The shit thing here is though, the issue is now you can't just sit and laugh at Sony getting woke and going broke, because it's not Sony that takes the fall for this. It's the dev studios they're nuking. They're forcing this ideology from the top down, but it's not the top that's gonna topple, it's the devs that will get fucked over. Their niche games, the things their studios were based around, just got shit all over, whereas Sony still has a monolith of other shit they can continue pushing out to support themselves. They lose a tiny minority of that, and these studios lose everything. That is the shitty thing here. It's not the classic get woke go broke case where the company decides to just up and off itself. I mean, I understand where that's coming from, I want to do that every day. But no, it's a new, much more sinister variety where the company takes a few smaller, niche studios that aren't in line with their woke mentality, leads them out behind the shed and beats the living shit out of them. Okay, and just for a bit of a laugh at the end of this video, because I found this just, both infuriating and incredibly amusing. I know this isn't Sony's official response, just a mere peon working for them, but it is just the most ridiculous thing ever. I have to say something about it. And hey, it could reflect the views that actually made this policy. You never know. It certainly does give one example of the kind of thinking that could lead to this. So, If every game is released the same, why buy the next? Well, that's a damn good point there, friend. Why buy the next in the series of games where the only unique thing about them was the sexual shit, but now without the sexual shit? Why buy them when they are now the same as every other shitty game out there, eh? Why? There is no reason. There may have been a change to said mode, and it doesn't meet our standards anymore. Sony, come on. Sony, please. Standards? Standards? You do not have standards. Life of Black Tiger is not the result of standards. This steaming pile of shit got through, was even promoted on your YouTube channel, and you're trying to say you have standards? Nah, you have none. Nada. Zero. Your platform is an embarrassment when it comes to quality control. It's making the old Steam Greenlight look good in comparison. I mean, come on. And then the last line, the cherry on the cake, putting it on the game devs or publisher as if it's not Sony's problem. Oh, this is just insulting. It's your fucking policy. You are the ones responsible for this. You are the top that is dictating this. You are the semi and the plebs are the Ecchi. You are the ones ramming them in the ass. It is not their responsibility that they are getting fucked by you. So don't shift the burden, you disingenuous fucks. At the very least, we do have Steam. Thank God Gabe is a fellow degenerate and embraced the lewds. He is truly a treasure because back in the day when violence in video games was a contentious issue, the publishers actually had the consumers back. They were fighting alongside us to be able to have that shit, and it was great. But now that they've established their permanence in the industry, it's those same publishers pointing the gun at us and implementing so many anti-consumer practices lately. So to have the monolithic power of Steam actually on our side against all that really is a blessing that we can't take for granted. Hopefully the Japanese devs of these games will find Steam and find an audience there, and hopefully the market will swing in their favour and make Sony's wallets regret this decision. But regardless of whether or not that happens, it will all take some time, and in the meantime these devs' budgets have been nuked, so hopefully their Ecchi games don't die off altogether in the pursuit of continued profits on the PS4.